Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Mr. Montgomery, of course. Who else? Oh, well, nobody else. Just me. And today we're actually doing something that is one of my favorite things to do in math. I think it's actually really, really fun. So we've all added two numbers together, right? We need two numbers together just to add period. But today we get to add with three numbers. Might sound a little scary. It's really not. It's super easy, super fun, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. We're just going to dive right into it. So make sure you have a pencil, and let's get ready to write. Do some math. Okay. And if you look up here at the top, I wrote three numbers for each problem that we're going to practice with. So for number one, I wrote 1, 1, and 1. I'll give you a quick minute to copy down these numbers. So for the first problem, it's number 1, 1, and 1. For number 2, I wrote the numbers 2, 2, and 2. For number 3, I wrote down the numbers 2, 4, and 3. Then for the fourth one, I wrote down 4, 5, and 7. So make sure you get all these numbers down. And as you do that, I'll explain to you why I picked these numbers. So for the first one, I wanted to just make it easy and make sure you guys can really understand what we're doing. The second one, it's just a little bit tougher. The third one is a little bit tougher than the last one. And then the fourth one gets a little crazy. So I'll just give you a couple more seconds to write those down. All right, let's dive right in. So for the first one, what we do when we have three numbers that we have to add together, well, what I do is I always take the first two and add them together first. So the first two numbers for this set are 1 and 1. So let's go ahead and write those down. So we're going to add the first two numbers together, which is 1 plus 1. And of course, we know that 1 plus 1 is 2. But now what do we do? Well, all we're going to do is bring this answer that we got, and we're going to add that to the third number. That's it, which is 2 plus 1. And of course, we know 2 plus 1 is 3. So on a test or a quiz, or maybe in the future, you're going to see, instead of seeing it broken down like this, you're actually going to see it look like this. 1 plus 1 plus 1. And then I'll say equals. And that's exactly what we did here. We just did it in two steps. First, we took this number and brought it down here. And the same thing with this second number. And we added them together and got the number 2. And then we took this 2 and added it to that last number, which gives us 3. That's all we did. So let's look at the second row of numbers here, which is 2, 2, and 2. And let's add these together. So let's take the first two numbers, which is 2 and 2. So if we were to see this on a test or something, it might say 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals. So let's do the first step, which is adding these first two numbers. And 2 plus 2, of course, is 4, which is easy. And then we're going to add 4 to the third number. So bring that 4 down. And that third number is 2. And then 4 plus 2, of course, is 6. That's an easy one. So if I were to, I'm going to just pause real quick and look how I wrote it up top first. because we might see it like this later on. So how I usually do problems like this is that when I add these two, I kind of bring the answer down here, which is 4, and then I bring this 2 on down with it, which is 4 plus 2 then, right? And 4 plus 2 is 6. So we get the same answer. This is just broken down a lot more how they're showing us in the book. But don't even worry, we're gonna have tons of practice, and you guys are gonna be awesome at it. So don't even worry about it. Now let's look at this third row of numbers. We have 2, 4, and 3. Now let me ask you this. Does it matter which two numbers we add together first? Not at all. It does not matter which two numbers we decide to add together, because when we're adding, they can go in any order. It's just I like to use the first and second number and then work my way down the line. That's just my favorite way to do it. If you think it's easier to maybe add together 2 and 3 first, you could absolutely do that, and that is fine. I'll show you both ways real quick, and you'll see that we get the same answer no matter what. So I'll do it the way I like to first. So I'll take the first two numbers, which is 2 and 4. 2 plus 4. And what's 2 plus 4? Well, that is 6. And then we're going to bring that 6 down. And then we have to add it to the third number, which is 3. And then 6 plus 3 is, well, let's do touch math. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 9. So it's that easy. We're just adding all three numbers together. It doesn't matter what order you want to do it. And to show you that it doesn't matter what order, I'm going to redo number 3 in a different way. Hold on a second. Let me erase these. All right. So now if you already wrote down the first way, that is fine. And if that's the way you think you're going to like the most, then keep on doing it. I'm just going to show you this other way. You do not have to do it this way, okay? Because personally, I think it's easier to stay organized when you just work down the line. But some people like to do it differently. So I'm going to show you a different way. So maybe I want to add together 2 and 3 instead, right? So I could do 2 plus 3. And of course, we all know that 2 plus 3 is 5. And then we bring the 5 down. And then we have to take that last number we didn't use, which is 4. So it's going to be 5 plus 4 is, of course, 9. And you can see that we got the same answer both ways, because it doesn't matter which way you want to add. Whatever's easier for you to keep track of all the numbers you're adding. So actually, let me erase this one more time, and I'm going to show you another way that you might have to do it. Of course, we're just using the same numbers. I'm just making space, and I'm going to write it out. It's going to look different, but you're going to get the same answers. So we have 2 plus 4 plus 3 equals. All right, so now I'm going to do this in very similar steps. It's just going to look different, that's all. So I'm going to just work my way down the line by first adding 2 and 4. 2 and 4 is 6. Bring this down with the plus sign, and it turns into 6 plus 3, which equals 9. Same answer as over here. Now this is the way I actually like to do it. Instead of breaking it down into all this is just a lot of writing. But let's do the last one, which is the most difficult out of all the ones I wrote down for you guys. Okay. But you know what? I'm going to give you guys a minute to try to do this one on your own. We did a lot of examples. We did 3 examples. I want to see you try this on your own. Remember, you can just work down the line, add the first 2 together, bring that answer down, and then add that third number in. Alright, I think that might be enough time. Let's work through it together so you can double check all of your work. Okay, so we'll take the first 2 numbers, which is 4 and 5. If you did it differently, it's okay. You can still follow along to make sure you got the right final answer. Okay, I know that 4 and 5 is 9. And we're going to bring that 9 down here. And we're going to add it to that last number, which is 7. And 7's a little tricky, but I know that 9 is 1 less than 10. 10 plus 7 is 17, but it's 1 less, so it's 16. Okay, so even if you decide to add 5 and 7 first, or 4 and 7 first, in the end, your final answer should be 16. All right, now let's open up and go to number 1 on the inside of your work mats. All right, everyone should have their booklets open to this page. And the cool thing about this page is they're doing it the exact same way I was just telling you that I like to do it, which is kind of funny. Except we can handwrite in another little step because they only showed the one step and not the second. All right, so let's walk through the first one together. So they're telling us that 2 plus 9 equals 11. So we can go ahead and trace this 11. But we still have to add 1 more. So we're going to take this number with the plus sign. You always take the sign that's with it. Always, always, always. And we're going to bring it down. So we're going to say we now have to add 11 plus 1. And what is 11 plus 1? It's 12, of course. And that's exactly what they wrote up here. So you can also trace this 12 if you like. And over here, they're showing us the other way we can add these 3 numbers together. So the other way is by taking 9 plus 1, which is 10. So you can go ahead and trace that 10. And this is going to look a little goofy, but it's the exact same idea. You take the last number we didn't use with the sign that it's with. Take that with it. And you can just pop it right here. So 2 plus, or if you want, we can put it on the other side. You know, let's do that. Let's put it on the other side just so it looks a little bit better. Gonna put it right here, plus 2. And 10 plus 2 is, of course, 12. So it's super easy, right? Super easy stuff. So go ahead and try number 2 all on your own. Do both ways, and then we will do it together. I'll give you guys a minute. All right, I think that was long enough. If you're still working on this last one, you can go ahead and keep working on it. And then when you're done, just kind of jump in and check your work, okay? So first, 6 plus 3. Well, I'm going to use touch dots. So 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 plus 3 is 9. Then I'm going to take the plus sign with the 2. Drop it right down. Plus 2. And 9 plus 2 is 11. So this is where we did all of our work, and we just put our final answer on the line up here, 11. And for this other way we can do it, well, let's see. 3 plus 2, that's easy. That's 5. I'm going to take this last number with the plus sign, and it's going to keep our 5 company. So plus 6 equals 11. And you can see we have the same answer on both sides, so we definitely did it right. Okay, now jump down to number 3 and try number 3 all on your own. All right, think that was definitely enough time. Let's go through it together. 8 plus 8, well, that's easy because that's a doubles fact. And we know 8 plus 8 is 16. And then we're going to take this 3 and bring it on down. And 16 plus 3 is 19. So this is where we do all of our work, but we have to write our answer on the line above. Okay, now let's do the other way that we can add 3 numbers together. So in this way, we're going to take the middle and third. And so it's 8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 8 plus 3 is 11. And take this, bring it on down. And 11 plus 8 is, well, that's just 19. So this is where we did all of our work, but we have to make sure we write our answers above. Now, if you're still confused, come sit with me on the carpet. If you feel like it's pretty easy, which I'm really hoping you do, because it's doing all the same stuff we've always done, except we just added one extra small step. That's it. If you're still confused, come see me. If not, go ahead to the next page and do those all on your own. And then I have a extra fun worksheet if you end up finishing that too quick, okay? So I will talk to you all soon.